Right, the final mini topic to close out today's lecture is, or I should say pertains to this question here. Why not compare means diagonally, right? Because we have covered tests of simple main effects that either go across the rows. So this one would be comparing this mean to this one to this one. That would be one test of simple main effects. The second one would be to compare this one to this one to this one. And then we could go in the other direction. So we could compare this mean to this mean going down. Okay, so that would be a test of simple main effect there. We'd have another one to compare these two means. And finally, a third one to compare these two means. So notice that with tests of simple main effects, we're either going down columns or we're looking across the different rows. But at no point did we compare means diagonally. So for example, we didn't compare this mean to this mean, or this mean to this mean, etc. Okay, so we did not make diagonal comparisons. And the question is, why not? The answer is actually pretty simple. If we compare, let's look at these three, right? If we were to compare these three means, what is changing? Well, it's the B's that are changing, right? This goes from B1 to B2 to B3. Notice that the A1 stays the same. So if we do see a difference between these three means, we can chalk it up to the fact that B is changing. So we attribute B as the reason why the means are different. Again, it can't be due to A because A stayed the same. Similarly, if we were to compare this mean to this mean, for example, what's changing? Well, this time B1 is staying the same and the A's are changing. It goes from A1 to A2. So if we do see a difference between these two means, we are going to attribute it to the fact that the A's were different. Again, we're able to isolate the effect to A, saying that it's because A changed from A1 to A2. It cannot be due to a change in B because B stayed the same. All right, now let's look at what happens if we make a diagonal comparison. So if we were to compare A1, B1 to, let's say, A2, B2, and let's pretend we see a difference between the two cell means. How are we going to explain that difference, right? Because look at what's changed. A1, it went from A1 to A2. So maybe that is responsible for the change, right? Because there was a difference in A's. But B1 also changed to B2. So you see how both variables changed, variable A and variable B? A went from A1 to A2. B went from B1 to B2. So now it's like we have a confound, right? We don't know if the difference in the means is because of a change in A's, or is it different because of a change in B's, or is it a combination? Now, it's not technically a confound. I said it's like a confound, but it's not technically a confound because remember, confounds are extraneous variables that differ between groups. Here, if we look at a change in A or a change in B, those are not extraneous variables, right? Variable A is an independent variable. Variable B is an independent variable. And confounds are extraneous variables, which means they cannot be independent variables or dependent variables. But there's a similarity here. Because when we have confounds, we're dumbfounded, right? We don't know what caused our groups to be different. So this is similar in the sense that if we were to make a diagonal comparison, we're dumbfounded because now we don't know which independent variable is responsible for the change in the means. And it could be A, it could be B, or some combination. So that's why we never do diagonal comparisons. And that's it.